Charlie Francis is arguably one of the best track and field coaches of all time. One of the things that he popularized that us strength coaches, especially from a very young age, once we're beginning to come up and learn in this field, are tempo runs. And you've probably seen the graphic before where he has running upwards of 95 to 100% of your max. There's a middle ground, and then there's a aerobic or oxidative adaptation to be had when you're running tempos at a certain intensity, commonly accepted as 65 to 70% of your maximum velocity. And that middle ground, he says, is neither fast enough nor slow enough to elicit speed adaptations or oxidative aerobic adaptations. I believe that we can take the same methodology and the same approach and logic and apply it to power training in the weight room. Lifting for speed at submaximal loads is neither heavy enough to elicit strength nor light enough to elicit any kind of explosive strength adaptation. I believe that the only reason that you should be lifting light is to not overtrain. You can still get stronger too at lighter loads, but that's going to be a product of maximal effort, motor unit recruitment, and drive and intent from your central nervous system. Even with loaded jumps, the second you are adding load and you're holding dumbbells, or you're holding a trap bar, or you have a barbell on your back, the takeoff velocity is dramatically reduced. So if we're decreasing takeoff velocity, how much explosive strength are we developing? Power is really just a physics equation with two components, force and velocity. Power can be increased or decreased with any exercise simply by manipulating the intent and the speed at which it's completed, or the force side by manipulating the absolute load of what's on the bar or what you're holding in dumbbells. It is much more advantageous to develop maximal strength, wave load your intensities so you don't overtrain, feel fresh again, and at the same time in tandem develop explosive strength by doing things fast. If I want to jump fast or sprint faster, adding load to those exercises is not going to do it. I need to jump faster and sprint faster in order to get better at doing those things. And adding resistance is going to decrease those outputs by slowing me down. There is a caveat to this, however. There are some musculotendinous adaptations to be had through landing or overspeed eccentric training with load in your hands, such as distal region muscle hypertrophy and increased fascicle length through rapid eccentric loading. Like I discussed in my video the other night about sprinting, increasing fascicle length and increasing hamstring strength due to rapid eccentric lengthening. But even if this is true, this should not be dominating your training. There's always strength and there's always explosive adaptations to be had if you're doing things quick enough. Stop slowing yourself down by adding load to all these dynamic movements. Simply unload them and move fast and develop the velocity side of the equation. Moral of the story is to avoid this middle ground, this no man's land, where we're adding light load and it's neither heavy enough to get us stronger nor light enough to make us move quicker. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this information. I hope you take this into your training, and I promise you're going to see some good benefit from doing this.